Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Jenna. Hold on. Okay, we made another episode. Let me move this off my face. Hold on. All right. So, you know what to do. Thumbs up this video, subscribe if you have not already. Okay, leave us a comment in both the chat and the replay, guys. Today, we are talking about Miss SoSo Chanel again. SoSo Chanel Chronicles Uncut. And she actually posted something today on her timeline about marriage, okay? And that actually stuck out to me because her marriage is in the shambles right now. Isn't it funny how when people don't have their own situations together, hold on, y'all, their own situations together, they always want to give advice, okay? One thing I've learned from doing the Social Chanel Chronicles is I said, you know what, if I'm going to be critiquing this lady's storyline, okay, I have to get myself together, right? All right, so make sure you guys check out those videos of my hula hooping and me just getting fit, trying my best, doing everything I can, like eating well and exercising. All right, enough of me. Let's get on to the topic. Okay, so she likes to be very artsy, okay? When I say artsy, I mean she's very dramatic when she writes these little posts, okay? Okay, look, this is post. Look. Yeah, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me let you guys see. This is called marriage, okay? This could be a small book, okay? So you know your girl had to do commentary, you know, and if you want to find like, see my other commentary that I've done, I've also done commentary on other paragraphs that she has written. So make sure you check that out. So this is how it works. I'm going to be reading a few lines of her um, post on marriage, and I'm going to basically give my take on it. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I have to ask my husband in my live. Babe, in my live. Okay. I think I am. Okay. Huh? You think so? Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Let's get into it. All right. So the place where you share, okay, marriage. This is what she wrote. Marriage is, I'm gonna actually um what is it, proofread this and kind of correct it because there's some, typos in here. Okay. Marriage is the place where you share your unadulterated, unfiltered body and soul with another human. Okay, so I have been married for quite some time, and I never thought that marriage was like that, unadulterated. Actually, I'm gonna look this up and know what unadulterated means. Okay, and look, I am not unadulterated. Okay, they must have heard me. Okay, I'm not ashamed to say that I do not know what that means. Okay. The term unadulterated refers to something that is pure, genuine, or untainted. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Her marriage is definitely not unadulterated. Okay? Yeah, she did what I did. She actually looked this word up. It implies that the item or concept in question is free from any impurities, additives, or alterations. It's not true. Marriage is not unadulterated. I've heard that word before, but I never knew it meant that. No, marriage is full of it's basically two people who come into an agreement to live the rest of their lives together, and one person is going to bring their issues and their positivities, and the other person is going to do the same. But no, marriage is not perfect. And I think that's what she's trying to say marriage should be. Okay. It suggests that the thing being described is in its original, natural, or authentic state without any modifications or adulteration. Okay, yeah, she is into this point where she wants to be like everything has to be authentic, everything has to be the same. When she goes on to her journey, her husband has to go on her journey with her. If you're not going on this journey too, then you're my enemy. And she has to, or anybody, but we're talking about her. She has to understand that just because she is on this 30-day no filter situation does not mean he has to go on a 30-day no filter as well. Men are different. I don't give a darn how things are going these days and how they're trying to say that everyone is kind of like fluid and there is no separations and we can do this and we can do that and we can say we're this and we can say we're that. No, God made us totally different. Okay. Women, we are more emotional. We are always looking for validation. We want to be comfortable. We're verbal. Men are different. They're not built to be like emotional creatures. I mean, they are today, because of the way that, our families are built, where a lot of us are coming from single parent families, and it's usually the mom who is the custodial parent. And so whether she is raising daughters or sons, the children are going to be more emotional on both ends, okay? But the old school males are not built that way, and I know a lot of them are gone, and this is a whole new day and age of the new man. Okay, but I am used to the men that I was raised by, they were, I'm not gonna say emotional, they were very emotional, but they were taught to keep these things in. See, years ago, there was no social media where you could just go up and type and have complete strangers know the ins and outs of your relationship and your marriage. See, I was actually taught that there is house business and marriage is nothing but house business, because what works for me, okay, and my marriage may not necessarily work for you, but in this house we do serve God. Okay, everybody should be on that plateau because marriage is the sanctity that God has created. So I don't know what everybody else is trying to do, but I know as for us, that's what we do. But, my husband understands me and I understand him, and we're still learning, and that's going to be like that forever, because we all change, we all evolve, but we may not necessarily evolve in the same way. Like now, I'm doing this hula hooping thing. You know what I mean? I came across it, it stuck like glue to me, and I'm like, every day I'm doing this this exercise, and my husband's not necessarily joining me to, he's not joining me in doing hula hooping as well. I mean, he's doing his own fitness. He's doing his little muscles and his muscle training, and he does what he does. I don't expect him to do exactly what I say and do, and when I want to change, which is a lot. Women, we change all the time. Why? Because we have monthly cycles, right? And then when we don't have monthly cycles, we go through what? Menopause. So women are steadily changing when men don't go through these huge erratic changes, like when a woman gets her cycle or when a woman has a baby, women are steadily having events that change them when men do not. That is this, I'm telling you, if all of my explanations are going to be like this, we will be here until tomorrow. Okay. The place where you have to decide marriage, marriage is the place where you have to decide to share every part of yourself and that you have access to and can make available. No. First and foremost, one thing I don't want to do is I do not want to stress my husband out every time I am stressed. That's why God is there. Okay. Your husband is not your God. I remember one video, and it's in one of my SoSo Chanel Chronicle videos, guys, that she actually says that her husband was her God and he was and she was his God. No. The only person, the only being that needs to know your every thought, your every whatever is God, because He's the one who is going to give that to you or say, no, this is not for you. My husband doesn't need to know all my thoughts and everything because I'm gonna tell you, some of those thoughts that's in your head are not even godly. They're from the devil. And why spread that to a partner, to your partner that you have to live with? Then he's gonna be tainted. Then he's gonna be all full of demons too, your own demons. God puts two beings together for us to kind of like offset each other. What my talents are, my talent's not necessarily what my husband has, and what my husband has is not my talent. But if you put us together, we're perfect together. You get what I'm saying? He doesn't have to wear the same clothes as me and do everything I do and talk the way I talk. And I darn sure don't have to do what he does, but we offset each other. That's what it's about. You get what I'm saying? Let's see this side. So no, you don't need to know every time because you need to know every time I'm grieving or every time I might be thinking about, something that's negative. No, I ask God, I said, you know what? This is a negative thought. God, help me get this out my head. Because anything I place on my husband, I want it to be positive. I want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. And I used to tell people to go ahead and read it for yourself. But honey, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna read it together in this video. Cause see, I use this platform and these SoSo Chanel Chronicles, I use them as a platform to get the word out about what God wants us to be. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to our word, our Bible, and we're going to go to Proverbs. Hold on, y'all. I got my Bible on my cell phone. Just give me 1 second. Okay, we're gonna go to Proverbs 31, which is the last chapter of that book. Yeah. Okay. So we want to be Proverbs 31. Okay. Now hold on, y'all. Let me make sure this is the right thing that I want to say. Hold on. Let's see. Yes, Proverbs 31 woman. Okay, so we are correct. And we're going to go back to Proverbs and we're going to go here. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Good advice to a king. Okay. And I'm reading it from the easy version, guys, not the King James. These are the words that King Lemuel's mother said to him. It's an important message. Be careful, my dear son. God answered my prayers when I gave birth to you. Hello. Please listen carefully. Do not chase after women and lose your strength. Mm. So this is not just for women, this is for men, okay? Women like that have destroyed kings. Mm. So I was taught that a man chases you, but you don't chase a man. That a man needs to understand that if you have to chase a certain woman, and chase doesn't mean just physically running after a woman. It means that every time you feel like you're comfortable, you gotta go somewhere else to be comfortable again because she's moving. She's not a relaxed woman. A woman you have to chase is a woman who is not at peace. I feel like she has to keep chasing Shanel because her mind, whatever her mind tells her to do, and we ask right now that her mind doesn't tell her to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. We rebuke that in Jesus' name right now because she's a mother, she's a wife, and she's a human being. We just pray for her. So these things are really to just help her to get delivered. Okay? But to be chased is to say that you are not comfortable where you are. Yeah, it's to say that you're not comfortable where you are. Okay. My husband didn't have to chase me. In fact, sometimes I had to chase him. I'm not gonna lie. I had to be a little bit persistent. I had to because that man was all over the place when I met him. He was dating all kinds of women, women who was baking cookies, women who could shimmy their hips, women who was cooking him got darn uh chicken and stuff. What is it, curry chicken? Because he liked to date around the world, if you will. He was all over the place. So one of us had to be still, and that was me. I was still. He had to chase me. When he was ready to settle down, he picked up the phone and called the same number that I had 6 months prior. It never changed. Because had it will, if it did change, we just wouldn't be married today. I was a settled woman mentally. Mentally. Do not chase after women and lose your strength. Women like that have destroyed kings. Listen, Lemuel, kings should not drink lots of wine. Okay? So we know that there's a lot of alcohol and a lot of extracurricular activities happening in this marriage on both parts. I had just told my husband this yesterday. I said, look, we both can't be whatever the heck we were talking about yesterday because I completely forgot. No, I was going to have this discussion today. But we were talking about something, and he was on one avenue, and I was on another avenue. And I said, baby, we both can't be on that avenue. Somebody got to be mature. I know what it was. Okay, so I was trying to put away some groceries. I was trying to do my part of putting away the groceries. And I had asked him to move whatever the heck he was doing. I said, can you move that out the way? You know what he gonna tell me? Back up a taste. I said, excuse me. He said, oh, I thought that was funny. And because Martin said it on his show. I said, well, Martin didn't say that to Gina. Martin said that to Wallace when he was trying to put Wallace out because he didn't want Wallace to go shoe shopping with Gina. And he said, look, back up a taste, back up a taste. Okay, now the door is going to slam right about now in your face. And I said, hold up. I said, you're not going to talk to me like that. I said, in 20 plus years, you ain't never tell me to back up a taste. You tell me, hey, sweetie, oh, excuse me or whatever. But you don't say no back up a taste. I said, now, we married, but I can't be too comfortable. I gotta be careful what I say, and you have to do the same. See, I had to be real. You know what I mean? And I said, I can't go there with you and say back up. I can't say that word because he said to me a lot of times. He said, I don't like that word. So okay, if you don't like that word, I'm gonna use it because he didn't like it. See, we always had to have respect for our spouse. I don't give a darn how long y'all been married. I don't care if you've been married for 150 years. You still got to understand that's a human being and you have to treat them accordingly or they're not going to be your wife or your husband anymore. Stop talking to each other all willy-nilly. Just because he there for you or he there with you and you sleep with him and you do this and you do that and you've seen him in the most unadulterated way does not give you the darn, right to talk to him like he ain't nothing. Just because you mad at your husband don't give you the right to say he's illiterate, that he ain't had nothing but a trash bag when you met him, that he can't talk. This is the thing she said about her husband, and she said it right on live. Not to mention the things she said about her own children. Just a few days ago, I was so disappointed because she released some information about her daughter that I thought was nobody's business. And it still ain't nobody's business on here. I ain't going to say it. But if y'all watch that video and y'all know who it is, because she did take it down, y'all know what the heck I'm talking about. And I thought that was the most disgusting thing because whatever that little girl is, because that's what she is, she a little girl, 15 years old. And what she said about her daughter was WRONG, wrong. And she ought to be very, very, what's the darn word? I'm 40 something. She ought to be ashamed of herself for even saying that about your underage daughter. Now I understand her mom ain't here, and her daddy ain't this, and her, but somebody gotta scold that woman. I'm scolding her now. Don't you ever put your darn children's business out there. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Don't ever do that again. And if you do it again, God help you. Because I know you're vindictive and you do what the heck you want to do. And if somebody tell you not to do it, you do it anyway. Don't bring your children, your innocent children into your mess. Lemuel, kings should not drink lots of wine. They should not want strong drink. When kings drink alcohol, they forget to obey the law. Honey, kings, queens, and people, that this is the truth. So everybody who go here and push up alcohol and push up all these extracurricular activities and say it's good, it's not good. Because when you do that, you can't listen to the law of God. And when you can't listen to the law of God, that's when the devil will come in and try to rain all over your darn parade. And I don't mean rain in a good way. Okay? They take away justice for helpless people. Give strong drink to people who are dying. Give wine to people who are very upset. Then they can forget how poor they are or how sad they are. And that's why people do what they do. That's why they go out and they had that drink and that smoke because they're trying to forget things. But during the time of you forgetting things, how can you change them? How can you get them better? It's funny we talking about this because we was talking about was watching this darn show on Netflix called The House of Usher, and I can barely get through it because there's so many different agendas in there. I gotta fast forward it, and this, that, and the other, because you know they just boosting this agenda. Anyway, so they would have this part where the man was talking about some disease that he had of the brain called dementia or dementia-esque, vascular dementia. Then I was saying, people who, I had a family member, very close family member who had, vascular dementia. And one thing that I kind of realized the reason why they got that is because they wanted to forget everything. I said, well, you can't forget everything. Even the pain, you got to remember because you got to build upon that and then get your healing and things like that. You know what I mean? So that's what happens, okay? And for a good bit of time, that person did drink. They stopped drinking, but they did drink for a long time. Drinking is an enabler. It does something to our mind, not just our physical mind, but our spiritual mind too, but the physical too. Stop drinking. You can't do God's work and drink. I'm a teetotaler. I don't drink. I haven't drank nothing ever in my life, really. See, when people say really, you already know it was a little bit, or they try to downplay it. But I haven't drank since high school, no, college. And I didn't never like the drink. I never liked the taste of it. Thank you. When I was a little girl, my mom had given me some cough syrup. I was I had a cold, and I just did my face like, ugh. She said, "Well, I don't have to ever worry about you drinking." And I heard her say that, and that stuck. So she told me not to drink, and my dad told me not to do drugs. Okay, he said, "What will drugs do you? It will take you out." And he had me do this little saying for all of my life, for all of my little girl life, and my father did that. So for my parents, I thank them for telling me at a young age that alcohol and drugs are not good. So even in this day and age where they're pushing it and they're trying to make it very fashionable and nice, I always say no, it doesn't make me feel good. And so the Bible is telling us we're not supposed to do it anyway. Give wine to people who are very upset so they can forget. No, you don't want to forget. You want to work through it. You don't want to forget all the pain that I've been through. I do, but I use it to push myself into possibly one day maybe use the story to help someone else. I don't want to forget it because to forget everything is to give yourself dementia. I'm just keeping it 100. I've seen it happen. Okay, speak on behalf of people who cannot speak for themselves. Help helpless people to receive justice. Speak clearly to help them, judge people in a way that is fair and right. And I'm gonna tell you, yes, we are to judge, but we have to judge in a way that is fair and right. Okay, we make judgments to help each other, not to condemn or to make people feel bad or even that, because people gonna feel bad if you tell the truth. I mean, it is what it is. If you tell people the truth, they're gonna feel bad. It is what it is, and they're gonna do what the heck they want to do with it. You either change or you don't. Help poor and helpless people to receive justice. Okay, okay. Here we go. Okay, um, about a good wife. This is all in the Bible, guys. Proverbs 31. Okay. So we're gonna do Proverbs 31, verse 10. That's where it starts. How difficult it is to find a wife who is truly wise. Hello, hello. What did my husband do to find me? I don't know, but I didn't look. Calling myself wise, but it is what it is. I was raised right. I'm proud to say that my grandparents raised me correctly so I can be the Proverbs 31 woman. She is worth much more than valuable jewels. Unfortunately, SoSo Chanel doesn't know that she is not a Proverbs 31 woman, but she can become one. First and foremost, cover your darn self, not govern yourself. Cover yourself accordingly. Some clothes on. I was, listening to this old school song from the Whispers called Olivia. Okay. And it's called basically the chorus of the song is called Lost and Turned Out. And honey, I think that's what she is. She's lost and turned out. Olivia can be anybody. Okay, Olivia. It could be anybody who's watching this, could be lost and turned out. And he said, stop using your body and use your brain. That's a Proverbs 31 woman, a woman who uses her brain. But I had somebody actually tell me that this body fades. And you want to be the type of woman that a man can have a conversation with, not just lay down. Okay? That's a part of it. Oh, everybody wants to get laid down by their man, their husband. But that's not all it is about. He wants a wise woman because a wise woman gonna keep him out of trouble. You'd be surprised what it is to be a woman today, a wife today. Do you know that pretty much anything you say to your husband, he will bite, he will do? This is as old as time. Just like what's her name? Eve. Okay, Eve bit the apple. We don't know what the apple was. Was it a real apple? Was it temptation? Was it whatever? I've heard so many things, but we're gonna go along with the word said. It was a god darn apple, and she bit it, and then she took it back to Adam, hence Adam's apple. Okay, apparently that apple got stuck in his throat. Okay, because he knew he wasn't supposed to eat it, but oh well, he followed that woman who didn't know better. Okay, so pretty much anything a woman say, a man gonna go along with it. I remember when we were younger, we just got married, because my husband liked those type of bars. I told him one day he had called me and he was calling me drunk. I said, look, don't call me drunk no more. I was all but 20, 21 years old. I said, don't call me drunk no more. And he said he liked that. He liked the fact that I told him that because I didn't gratify that. Now, I'm not going to say we ain't never, I was, I was a college kid. I was 4 years younger than him and I had friends and I was trying to, stay out there. So trying to vibe with him, and then what we said, clink, clink, when we got married, I had said, you know what, because I was still fearful. I thought this man still wanted that life. So for his birthday, I had said, "Hey, let's go down to the club, if you will." Okay, and it just didn't work out. One of the dancers said, "Excuse me, why are y'all here? Why y'all here? It's not where y'all should be." That was God talking through that lady. That's why I love that Jesus walks. He said, even the scrippers, Jesus walks with them. Jesus walks with everybody. It don't matter who it is. It was God saying, what the heck? I put y'all together. I fucked y'all from this world and y'all back in this place. So needless to say, we never did that again. That was like the first year or so within our marriage, or maybe two. And he said, look, I really didn't want to go. So why didn't you tell me? But it didn't matter because I wanted them to go. And he followed me straight to this place. And so I say, yeah, you have to be a Proverbs 31 woman. The woman with the man has to be a good woman because the man, he can be as good as he wants. But if the woman is tainted and she's evil and she's devilish and she's full of demons, then you gonna go to hell right with them. Because a lot of men today don't know how to be the man of the house because of the ways we're raised. Because everybody was raised by a woman. If you were raised by a good mom and a dad or a good two-parent household, does not necessarily mean everybody had to be blood related. That's a blessing. So pat yourself and say, thank God right now that you had both of your parents, even if they weren't necessarily in the same home, but you had access to both parents. Be thankful about that because to be honest, that's few and far between nowadays. Okay? Hold on now. Let me plug this in. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. So remember, it says that this woman is valuable, valuable as jewels. Okay. Her husband trusts her to Help him. So she's your helpmate. A woman is not supposed to sit there and give a man grief all day. He didn't marry his mom. He didn't marry a person who's going to be a tyrant and just tell him what to do all day and make his life miserable and hard. It's hard for a man to be a man today. So our job is not to make it harder. It's to take the load off, to help him. Okay? And I honestly think that she doesn't know this. Okay? She's reads all these other books, but yet to have read the Bible. The Bible is the main book that everybody needs to read. Her husband trusts her to help him. He will have everything that he needs. What does a man need? He needs a supportive woman. He needs a woman who is God fearing, who knows her place. Okay? And that's not anything bad to know your place. A man needs to know his place as well. She does good things for him every day of her life. She never tries to hurt him. Words, and it says in the Bible, words can cut like a knife. There's life and death in the power of what we say. So if you're sitting there and you're talking about your husband every day in a negative light, what does that do to him? He had one live video that we actually was able to get a clip of in the SoSo Chanel Chronicles, and the whole time I could see that he was just so unsure of himself. I see so many demons going on in both of them. They're not good for each other because their base is not in God. Unfortunately, I'm assuming their parents did not teach them anything about God. They taught them about everything else, about fornication, about adultery, about drinking, about gambling, but they didn't teach them about God. And see, what happens is when you don't take that time out to teach your children about God, they're going to be lost because the parents are not going to be around forever. You can't keep blaming your parents for every goddamn thing that has happened to you. And she is still doing that, blaming her mother because her mother did this and this, that, and the other. Look, we don't give a darn what your mother did because she lived her life and she ain't even here no more. That she did what she was supposed to do. She brought you here. She did the best she could do. And that's it. Now it's your turn to pick up where your parents left off and seek good knowledge and live that way. But that's just my opinion. Okay. She is happy to work with her own hands to make clothes with wool and linen. So she's happy to pitch in and work. That's what I do. I do what I can. I'm not perfect. I can't do everything, but I don't basically put everything on my husband. I'm able to do some things too to make his day a little easier. She brings special food from far away, like a ship that travels across the sea. Just a few days ago, she was talking about, hey, I don't cook anymore. The day she stopped cooking is when the family went down. She used to cook. But once her children started growing up and they're able to eat on their own, she's not cooking anymore for them. She's not cooking anymore for her man. So he's all over the place. He's thin one day, swollen another. His mind ain't right. Because if you're not eating, your brain has nothing to work on. Absolutely nothing to work on. And so they're both going down eating those. I'm not going to say the brand, but it's some actor meals. Okay, it is what it is. Ain't nothing but a nice little TV dinner full of preservatives and salt and all of that. I'm not putting it down, but I'm assuming if you got it, and then you put it in the microwave, where the nutrition at? Where's the nutrition? Okay, you got to make your man special food because he's a photographer. He's of a particular age. He needs some things that's going to help his blood pressure stay low. Because, honey, when your blood pressure is high, you're going to need glasses. How can a photographer not see? A photographer needs to see. A photographer needs some good nutrition so he can stand and bend and get on his knees and do this and be flexible so he can take pictures. But you sitting there giving them actor meals. If you take the F off of it, it's actor, meaning it's fake, it's not real. They acting like it's food, but it's not. But that's just what I said. Fake. She gets up while it's still night and she prepares food for her family. Hello. Meaning she prepares food for her family. So she's not a Proverbs 31 woman just based on the fact that she ain't cooking. I cook every day and I fuss about it every day. I get tired. And so sometimes when I hear and I'm around people who claim that they don't want to cook, I don't even talk to them. I don't be around them, or I try to teach them that they need to cook, because you got to be careful. People can convince you to stop doing what a Proverbs 31 is supposed to do. Proverbs 31 woman is supposed to cook for her family. Okay? She also gives some to her female servants. Well, I ain't got no other female servants up in here. Okay, this is the Bible. Back in the day, they had handmaids and maids and concubines and stuff like that. And Sarah told Abraham to go ahead and sleep with one. And then all their kids was a booty of a nation, if you will. It's all in the Bible. So we don't have no handmaids up in here. We ain't got no concubines. Okay, my husband needs help. He come to me. Okay. But you get what the Bible is saying, okay? She looks carefully at a field and she decides to buy it. Hello. She's doing real estate. I know how to buy stuff too, things we need. Now, something about the Bible, people think it's not current today. It is. You just have to kind of understand, okay, well, we ain't buying fields, but if you buying a house, or if you buying, some clothes, or furniture, you know what furniture you need, you know what furniture you don't need. It is what it is. It's a Proverbs 31 money. She uses her own money to plant a vineyard. She works. Okay? There's nothing wrong with a woman working. Just know that you are still the woman and you're the helpmate. You are not the head of the household. So it don't matter if you make more money monetarily, he's still the man. And that's another thing. She loves making more money. Oh, he's a photographer. Let me go and make a real estate. Let me go get real estate. Stop it. He's still a man, whether he knows it or not. Unfortunately. She is strong and she always works hard. And she keeps saying she works like a dog. Now, I don't work like a dog. I just work. See the words she speaks over her own body, her own mind. She works like a dog. No, you work. And there's nothing wrong with honest work. Honest work. She knows how to make money as she buys and sells things. So hello, she almost there. Even at night, she is still working. Well, good darn. Does the Proverbs 31 woman rest, babe? Yeah. Okay. So the Proverbs 31 woman, she's always working. She's always doing something. She's staying active. Because I'm going to tell you, active in God's work, by the way. And this temple is his work. So when I do my little exercise, and my husband actually supports that. Yes, he does. Because if he didn't, I wouldn't be able to do it. Anything that your husband don't support, you can't do. And anything your wife don't support, you can't do. And when y'all try to do it anyway, that's where a whole bunch of discourse happens. But this temple is God's. He lent this to us. So exercise and eating well and things like that, that's God shines on that. Okay? And so I'm always working, but I know how to rest when it's time. Okay? She knows how to make cloth. She gives money to the poor and helpless people. Okay? So I want to know, who do you give to? We all know who gives to you. But who do you give to? Who do you pour into? I pour into my platform, this platform, and I try to give my time, because I just did a whole hour and a half workout on my hula hoop, and I honestly did not feel like doing this, but God told me to do it. So I'm doing it. I hope this is helping somebody out, and especially her. I would have to have the SoSo Shanel Chronicles not help Miss SoSo Shanel. Okay? All her family wear warm clothes to wear. She is not afraid when cold weather comes. So she prepares her children. She prepares her family. When it's cold, you have clothes that's appropriate. When it's not cold, you have a clothes that's appropriate. You don't want your children looking like it's wintertime when it's summertime. And I've seen that. The heck? Why is your child walking around in a hoodie and it's 89 degrees outside? Something is wrong. They're saying the mental state's not the best. Okay? She makes beautiful cloths to cover her beds. Her own clothes are made with valuable linen and purple cloth. Man, she's well dressed. The Proverbs 31 woman is well dressed. Her hair is done. Her clothes look nice. She doesn't look like a bum. She doesn't look like she's haggard. She doesn't look like, she's nothing wrong with looking nice. She uses linen to make clothes and she sells them. She makes belts to sell them to the traders. So, she's a very crafty, good craft. She's a very talented woman. She shows her strength and her people respect her. Okay? She is not afraid of what will happen in the future because God is already there. You get what I'm saying? When she speaks, she says wise words, right? Stop doing all those expletives. It doesn't show anything but that you're not educated. You don't have any other words to say. Some people feel like speaking bad words is good. No, it's so many words in the dictionary, the unabridged dictionary, the Webster dictionary. Step your vocab up. Okay, she is kind and she teaches people what is right. Okay, that's what I'm trying to be, a Proverbs 31 woman. I want to be, assertive in how I teach, but she's kind. Okay. She always works hard and she takes care of her family. I don't know how many times that says that, but taking care of your family and working, you have to learn how to do both. A lot of women or a lot of people in general feel like because you work hard that you can completely neglect your children and your marriage. You cannot. God made it where you can actually do both. Okay. He said many women are wise and they work well, but you are better than all of them. A woman may seem to be beautiful, but that can deceive people. Mm, okay. Her body will not be beautiful forever. Oh, wow. So my grandmother actually was teaching me out of Proverbs 31. Okay. You know, she was a pastor's wife at one time, and she was also a pastor's daughter. And the way that my grandmother taught me was as if she was just telling me these things. I never knew that she actually was teaching me out of the Bible. Which just every time I do these sessions, I always say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for uh, her many wisdom things that she had. She shared wise things with me, and I appreciate that. Yes, I do. Because she said, plain as day, if you notice at the beginning of the video or earlier, I did say she taught me that looks will not stay around forever. And it says it right in Proverbs 31. Okay. But a woman who respects the Lord with fear will receive honor. Praise her for everything that she has done. Everyone in the city should know about her and they should praise her as she deserves. And so she's a Proverbs 31 woman in the making if she really understood that whole verse. You can be well known, you can be well loved, and you can be well received and honored, but you gotta change all this other stuff because right now you are not the Proverbs 31 woman, but you can become that. Okay, so let's go back to what she said. The place where you have to decide to share, the place where you can only hope that the partner you're navigating life with has the space to receive what you pour out. You do not want you look, she wants a God. She wants a God in a manly way, in a human form. The only person that can basically accept, okay, and handle all the crazy stuff that you have within your head, and I'm not talking about her, just in general, is God, okay? Because once you pour it there, what you want? You want him to pick up all that negative stuff, or do you want that to go away? Pour that into God. Don't pour it into teeth or your husband, okay? Uh Still love you without fear. The place where you can only hope that the partner you're navigating life with has the space to receive what you pour out and still love you without fear. So, what she's looking for is unconditional love. I was just listening to someone yesterday and they said humans are not capable of unconditionally loving you. Jesus, the Christ, and God loves you unconditionally. Humans, that is something that is almost impossible. I'm not going to sit here because I'm sure somebody going to say, I could love somebody unconditionally, but we don't. We always want to love somebody on contingency of if you do this, this, and this. Can you love somebody at their worst? Can you love somebody if they treat you bad? Can you love somebody who is tough? Okay, so she's really looking for God's love. She's not looking for teeth. She's looking for God. And the Proverbs 31 woman has to know God before she even gets married, in my opinion. Marriage is the hardest place to hide. Don't understand how to explain that. Marriage is the hardest place to hide. And, and you know what? People do hide in their marriages. There's a lot of men out here who are on the down low, women too. Men out here who wants other stuff or has all the relationships and other, marriage is the hardest place to hide. No, you cannot hide there, but people do it. But it always comes to light. Okay. Maybe that's because God wants your heart first, and marriage makes it irresistible to giving all your all to another. Don't know what that means. Marriage is the space where you have to risk being hurt to the core to get to rewards. No, I do not have to be hurt to the core. No, I do not have to allow somebody to treat me any kind of way for me to get to any rewards, because your rewards are in heaven, honey. They're not on earth. Okay? Stop looking for rewards down here. I mean, it happened because it also says, as in heaven, so it be on earth. But sometimes when we get caught up in wanting gratification down here, we go away from godly things and do devilish things. Okay? Space where you have to risk being hurt to the core. It's a space where you and another person have to decide to make room among all of your wounds to be the best version of yourself for a greater cause. Okay? You know who can heal wounds? God. My husband can't heal my wounds. He, he can't heal my trauma. Okay? Only God can do that. Peace, love, and joy. Your life is where you have to find the strength to heal those wounds, to make space for that peace by doing the work. Sometimes you may not even find that marriage is a stop that you've made on your what? Sometimes you may even find that marriage is just a pit stop, a stop that you made on your journey of healing. So she's like, basically, hey, I'm married for now, but this marriage it could just not be next year. You're a pit stop, T. A spot at which you realize that you inadvertently decided to park and not continue ahead to freedom of peace. So she said, basically, I parked my car in this marriage that's miserable, and I stopped my journey to peace. Peace was never a part of your journey. Because the road of healing, the work is so bumpy, and the passion uh, of the marriage felt so much better and safe. But marriage will continue to remind you of those wounds. And the pain it can cause can only be measured against the pleasure. Nothing else can compare. Wounds can wound marriage. So basically, she's saying if you're not healed, you're going to basically make the marriage, bad or, hard. I do agree with that. You got to heal yourself before you try to even join with somebody, but a lot of us don't do that. Okay? Just like anything else can be wounded that gets in a wound's way, creating more wounds if you aren't careful. Okay? And if you don't do something about it, the marriage won't like the wounds. I mean, marriage is not, what? And the wound, she said wounds like 20 times, y'all, won't like the marriage. Chaos will ensue, whether it's a calm, passive, aggressive chaos or a full blown war. Nobody wants that. Marriage requires time, peace. Get ready. Get ready. Marriage requires time, effort, courage, brute strength, patience, compassion, understanding, kindness, loving kindness, kindness, boundaries, respect, honor, care, concern, awareness, stillness, willingness, creativity, acceptance, prayer, and choices. Your child. Now, who are you marrying? Because you're not going to get all of that at one time. You may not get all of that ever. And some of these words, basically you can take the other words out. Respect, if you respect and honor each other, all of that will fall into place. Okay? And the reason why you're not getting it is because you don't have respect for one another. I already know you don't have respect for one another because you allow other people to come into your marriage, including social media. Marriage is a stew with more ingredients than you can imagine that can much longer to take that can take much longer to get to that deliciousness than you either imagine or are able to wait for. It doesn't just include the herbs, it includes the time those herbs need developing in the ground. It's an intersection and blending of two people, upbringings, and beliefs. I don't agree with that because I'm gonna tell you, when you get married, some beliefs need to already be understood. Okay, I'm not blending my beliefs with somebody who's an atheist. That's just not what we're going to do. An atheist and a Christian should not be getting married. A person who feels like we're monogamous should not be getting married to someone who feels like they should be polygamous. All of that should be talked about before we get married. We ain't blending that. I ain't blending with somebody gonna take me to you know where. So I don't believe in that. It's the place where a lot of acceptance has to happen. No, the only thing that you and I need to accept as man and woman is God. I don't have to accept your sins. I don't have to accept your mistakes. I don't, because acceptance to me sounds too much like I want that to keep happening in my marriage. And the answer would be no, I do not. So I don't have to accept a goddamn thing. All I gotta accept is Jesus. And if I accept him, then I won't accept everything. Let that marinate. It's the place where all acceptance has to happen for forward progress to be made. No, whatever that means to you in your marriage, it don't mean jack. No good thing is easy and great. Things take even more work. No, I don't agree with that either. Because if it's God driven and God given, it ain't supposed to be that hard. Remember, you only think you're working marriage. Truth is, most times it's really working on you. Revealing the things that must be addressed and ultimately healed, marriage is going to bring things to the surface that need to be looked at. Uh-huh. No. Y'all need to jump. You see, y'all jump into bed so quickly that you don't do the work before the marriage. A lot of these things that you so-called are finding out now, which are really core issues. You should have found that out before you left your husband, your first husband, and went down to a club to meet Teeth, who had his daddy's clothes on, and ain't have a darn pot to you know what in the window to throw it out. Before you did that, you should have found all this out. Or you should have took that energy that you wanted to go and jump out of one marriage into another, and you should have communicated with your first husband. But that's another video. Things that need to be faced. Let me see. The truth is, most times, marriage is going to bring things to the surface that need to be looked at. Things that need to be faced in order to enjoy the fullness of marriage. If you ain't enjoying your marriage now after 10 plus years, honey, I don't know how you're going to do it. Because the older we get, the more nestled we are in our bad ways or in our what they say, you all up in what's the word? What's the word? When they say you old, you what? When you get older, you get stuck in your own ways or something. Yeah, you get stuck in your own ways the older you get. You get what I'm saying? That's not going to feel as good. I'm saying things that need to be faced in order to enjoy. That's not going to feel as good as passionate girl. Bye. You don't know nothing about no passionate love, whatever. Get that out of your head, you darn fleshly woman. My goodness, how much goddamn wood can you take? You already live in a forest. God darn, the wood that you taking is already flaccid because he's smoking, he's not drinking, you're giving him darn actor meals. The wood ain't there no more. Men can't be performing when they stressed out. That makeup and stuff that you wear ain't turn that man on no more. Goodness gracious, he's looking at your spirit, and your spirit is foul. That's why his wood ain't working. One of his folks, this what? but it invokes the same level of passion nonetheless. Just on the opposite side of the spectrum. You can be red hot or you can be red hot. That's the tricky part, getting off the extreme ends and meeting middle. This clearly for the folks that are involved with marriage. This clearly for the folks who don't know better. Because anybody who's married and got God in their marriage would look at this and laugh like I just did. But this is true in every relationship, parenting, sister friendships, bromances. Girl, sibling relationships, honey, bye, bye, bye. Did she just say a marriage is like a goddamn sister friendship? Get out of here. Marriage is just as both dynamic and requires the delicate balance of selfishness, tending to who you bring to the table, and partnering, tending to who's sitting on the table with you. Sometimes it will endure and sometimes it may not. Either way, it will work out in your favor. That's your life's promise from the divine. Who is the divine? That's all you need to hold on to. No, all you need to hold on is to God's unchanging hand. Okay, like the old folks say, God's unchanging hand, not T's unchanging hand, not SoSo Chanel's unchanging hand, not Jenna's. God's unchanging hand. Because see, when He does, when you hold on to His hand, He's not gonna steer you wrong. The song says, "Order my steps in Your Word." Get into your Bible. Put all those other books to the side. Get into your Bible, and then your marriage will start to work out. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We'll be back with another episode.